The late 90s. Dancehall wasn't just a Jamaican export. It was a global contagion. The airwaves were a battlefield of gravelly voices and hardcore badman lyrics. But through the smoke and the grit emerged something completely different. He was vibrant. He was hilarious. He was unpredictable. With 2 words and a high-pitched squeal, he became a household name. From Kingston to London to New York, the world shouted it back. But as the decade turned and the charts shifted, the neon colors faded. The voice that defined an era seemed to vanish into the static. Did the double R simply run out of road? Or was he playing a different game entirely? In this episode, we peel back the curtain on one of dancehall's most eccentric icons. This is the rise, the disappearance, and the reinvention of Red Rat. Before the catchphrases and the international tours, there was only Wallace Wilson. Born in 1978 in the salt air quiet of St. Ann's Bay, Jamaica, Wallace didn't just listen to music, he breathed it. It was a family trade. His father plucked strings for the legendary Byron Lee and the Dragonaires, while his brothers kept the pulse on bass and drums. But while his family played for the history books, 4-year-old Wallace was playing for the tourists. Imagine it, a child barely tall enough to reach the microphone, standing on hotel stages where his mother worked as a seamstress. While other kids were playing in the sand, Wallace was studying the crowd. He wasn't just singing, he was learning the art of the show. Was it destiny or a predetermined rhythm? Long before the world screamed his name, the stage was already his home. This wasn't only a childhood, it was the quiet rehearsal for a global explosion. By high school, Wallace Wilson wasn't just a musical kid. He was a local phenomenon. He was tearing up the youth circuits, a skinny teenager with the stage presence of a veteran. That's when he caught the ear of Danny Brown, the visionary behind Main Street Records. Main Street was a label and a hit factory. At just 16, Wallace was signed and brought into the inner circle. But while he had the voice and the rhythm, he was missing the most vital piece of the dancehall puzzle: an identity. The transformation happened in a moment of studio banter. As the story goes, the legendary General Degree looked at the pale-skinned, energetic teen and cracked a joke that would change the course of dancehall music. You're red, and you look like a rat. In the raw, honest world of the dancehall, nicknames aren't given, they're earned. Wallace didn't fight it. He leaned in. With that one insult, Wallace Wilson vanished. In his place stood Red Rat, a name that was strange, hilarious, and above all, impossible to forget. By the late 90s, dancehall was a heavy hitter's game. The airwaves were thick with badman anthems and gritty street tales. But Red Rat didn't come to intimidate. He came to party. While others leaned into the hardcore, Red Rat leaned into the humor. He was playful, He was high energy. He was a cartoon character come to life in a world of giants. And the fans, they were obsessed. Then came the anthems that defined a generation. Shelly-Ann, Dwayne, Big Man, Little Ute. But it was Tight Up Skirt that truly broke the sound barrier. The track didn't just play in Jamaica. It detonated across the Caribbean and bled into the global mainstream. In 1997, under the legendary Greensleeves Records, he dropped his debut. Oh no, it's Red Rat. It wasn't just a hit, it was a seismic shift. Red Rat did what many thought impossible for a comedic act. He achieved the historic. He became the first artist in the history of Greensleeves to go gold. In an era of street legends, Red Rat was officially a global superstar. By the late 90s, Red Rat fever had broken quarantine. He wasn't just a Jamaican star, he was a global phenomenon. From the neon lights of Tokyo to the massive festival stages of Europe and the pulsing heart of Africa, the world was shouting back. "Oh no" was no longer a catchphrase. It was a universal language. Then came the moment that changed the game for the entire genre. In a suit and tie world of American late-night TV, the double R crashed the party. Wallace Wilson became the first dancehall artist to ever perform on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. It was a moment where the A flag planted on the moon for dancehall music. The industry giants took notice. Suddenly, he became a collaborator of choice. He was trading verses with Buju Banton, vibing with Naughty by Nature's Tretch, and crossing into the electronic world with Groove Armada. His sound even punched through the silver screen in the Hollywood blockbuster. The big hit. Red Rat had officially crossed over. He had the world in his hands. But in the music industry, the higher you climb, the thinner the air becomes. And as the new millennium approached, the wind was beginning to shift. The year 2000 arrived, and with it, a declaration. I'm a big kid now. The title of his second album was Classic Red Rat. Playful, defiant, and full of the same double R energy. But beneath the surface, the landscape of dancehall was shifting. The genre was becoming darker, faster, and more commercial. Wallace saw the change coming. He didn't just want to be a voice on a rhythm, he wanted to be a global architect. He began stepping into rooms most artists only dreamed of. He was in the lab with the Midas touch of Scott Storch, the soulful grit of Salaam Remi, and even the legendary R&B royalty, TLC. He was no longer just the funny guy from St. Anne. He was a bridge between Kingston and the Billboard charts. He was evolving. He was diversifying. He was building a legacy that transcended the "oh no" catchphrase. But just as the big kid was finding his footing in this new world, the music stopped. The industry didn't push him out. The charts didn't fail him. Instead, life dealt a blow that no amount of fame could soften. Tragedy struck. Wallace Wilson lost the man who started it all, his father. the legendary guitarist who had first shown him that a life in music wasn't just possible, but purposeful. It was a loss compounded by a cruel irony. After years of parallel careers, the father and son were finally preparing to collaborate in the studio for the first time. They were about to bridge 2 generations of Jamaican music on one track. But the session never happened. The "oh no" catchphrase that had brought joy to millions suddenly felt hollow. Devastated and unmoored, Red Rat did the one thing no one expected from a global superstar at the top of his game. He walked away. The vibrant music videos, the high-octane stage shows, and the constant hum of the industry were replaced by a deafening silence. As the years stretched on, the Double R posters began to peel off the walls of Kingston. The fans started to whisper, "Was this the end? Where did Red Rat go?" The world was looking for a star, but Wallace Wilson was just a son trying to find his way through the dark. They say you can't have a comeback without a setback. For Wallace Wilson, the silence was just an incubation. When Red Rat finally re-emerged, the goggles were gone, replaced by the sharp eyes of a businessman. He didn't just return to the stage. He built the stage itself. Settling in the neon-soaked creative hub of South Florida, he partnered with artist and entrepreneur Pascali to launch a new powerhouse, Infinity Moguls, Inc. The mission was no longer just dancehall. Infinity Moguls became a borderless laboratory, churning out pop, Afrobeats, EDM, and reggaeton. The Big Kid had become the architect, producing global sounds for a new digital generation. But if anyone thought his days as a hitmaker were over, 2017 provided a thunderous wake-up call. He dropped Higher, an EDM-infused anthem that traded the gritty streets of Kingston for the global dance floor. The result? Pure digital fire. With over 21 million streams on Spotify and a massive global licensing deal with Zumba, Red Rat proved he wasn't a relic of the 90s. He was a survivor. The Oh New Counting Kid had evolved into a multi-genre mogul, proving that true talent doesn't just age, it scales. The 90s may be over, but the Double R DNA is everywhere. To some, Red Rat is a memory of a vibrant era. But look closer at the charts today, and you'll see his fingerprints are still fresh. His classic tight-up skirt didn't just stay in the dance hall. It became a blueprint for the next generation of superstars. When R&B powerhouse Chris Brown interpolated the track for his hit Privacy, it was a testament. That song racked up over 100 million streams, proving that the melodies Wallace Wilson hummed in a Kingston studio decades ago still have the power to move the entire world today. So, how do we define him? Was Red Rat just a lightning bolt that struck the 90s? Or was he a pioneer of the crossover? He was the man who dared to prove that dancehall didn't have to be dark to be real. He showed us that the genre could be vibrant, hilarious, and above all, global. He wasn't just a performer. He was the proof that in the world of music, the most unpredictable voices are often the ones that echo the longest. Today, Red Rat persona has matured, but the creative fire hasn't dimmed. Wallace Wilson is no longer just the face in front of the camera. He's He's the engine behind the sound. His role has evolved from the performer to the architect. Through his labels Infinity Moguls and Mogul Beats, he has traded the stage for the studio, focusing his decades of experience on writing, production, and artist development. He continues to do what he's always done: push Caribbean music into uncharted territory. From the pulse of Afro beats to the energy of EDM and the global heat of Latin pop, his influence is woven into the fabric of the modern industry. The world might not hear his high-pitched squeal on the radio every day, but his DNA is in the rhythm. His vision is in the crossover. So the next time you hear a crowd roar, or a producer flip a classic dancehall sample, or someone anywhere in the world shouts those two iconic words, "Oh, no!" Remember, it wasn't just a catchphrase. It was a cultural earthquake. And the man who started it? He's still creating, still evolving, still making moves. Red Rat, the big kid who didn't just play the game, he changed how the world listens to it. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Red Rat legacy, show some love for the culture. Hit that like button if Red Rat helped define your 90s. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you never miss the untold stories of the icons who shaped our sound. And we want to hear from you in the comments. When the beats drop, which track is still your anthem? Is it the heartbreak of Shelly-Ann, the comedy of Dwayne, or the undisputed global classic, Tied Up Skirt? Drop your favorite track below and tell us which legend we should cover next.